Good evening. Welcome to the Walter Lippmann House. I'm Anne-Marie Lipinski. I'm the curator of the Nieman Foundation for Journalism, and it's just a real privilege to be with you all tonight and to know that we'll spend the next couple of days together in really important conversation. We gather at a time when nuclear issues have faded a bit in the minds of many Americans, but have returned more recently with some alarm. Of course, for many of the people in this room, however, the momentary lull in the public conversation has been just that. They knew that that was momentary. We are fortunate to be able to spend the weekend with these experts and with the many incredible journalists here who work to translate that knowledge to the public. So to that end, we have brought together a gifted group of colleagues from around news organizations from around the country, and just as our nuclear and national security experts will educate us, we know we'll learn a lot from the reporters and editors in this room too. The Nieman Foundation was founded 80 years ago to promote and elevate the standards of journalism, and is very well known for its fellowship program. We have a couple of current Nieman Fellows actually who will be here with you this weekend, Sipo from South Africa, and Edward just back from China. I never know where to say where you're from. And we also have some Nieman alumni in the group as well, and so welcome back to them. We assemble about 24 journalists from around the globe every year for a year of study here at Harvard. We also run visiting fellowships for shorter research periods. We publish Nieman Lab, Nieman Reports, Nieman Storyboard, for a global audience of journalists and others concerned about the future and the integrity of news. But an additional and very important part of our portfolio is what you've all come here for this weekend. Thanks to the great generosity and trust of our colleagues at the MacArthur Foundation, we've been able to offer these intensive training workshops for journalists outside of our fellowship program, increasing the depth and sophistication of reporting on a range of issues. This workshop is our third with MacArthur and follows deep training for journalists covering immigration. That was the first one we did with MacArthur, and last year we did one on housing. And we know from those alumni and the journalism they produced that the training was fundamental to their growth and the sophistication of their work. Nuclear-related issues are among the most pressing of our time, and journalists who are tasked with reporting on them are facing an often confusing landscape. From North Korea and Iran to the threat of nuclear terrorism, it can be a challenging beat to keep pace with. Here at Nieman, we search for opportunities to create spaces for journalists like you to interact with the incredible roster of experts at Harvard and MIT and other surrounding academic community. And I'm personally grateful to Andy Solomon, MacArthur's managing director for communications, for identifying Nieman a few years back as a vital partner in this work. In an industry like journalism, where training is scarce, sidelined to budget woes and newsroom contraction, we are deeply grateful to MacArthur and this extraordinary roster of experts for allowing us to better journalism in this vital way. In particular, we thank the Kennedy School's Belfer Center on Science and International Affairs, especially tonight's keynote speaker, Gary Seymour, and his colleagues from the Managing the Atom team. I thought managing editor was a hard job, but managing the Atom team is harder yet. In a bit, we will hear from Gary, who will be joined in conversation by our friend and colleague David Sanger, well known to many of you for his national security reporting in the New York Times. Here on campus, he's also known as a senior fellow at Belfer and an adjunct lecturer in public policy. Welcome back to Lippmann, David. So thank you all for being here this weekend, and thank you to the extraordinary Nieman Foundation team led by Samantha Henry, and including Christine Kay and Carrie Cashmore and Ellie Latero, who helped organize this weekend and put many months of planning into this. So I thank them all. Finally, I would like to introduce Angela Schlater, who is the program officer at the MacArthur Foundation, managing the grants and for education and training at the in the nuclear challenges area at MacArthur. Before that, she worked at MacArthur's International Peace and Security Program, where I'm guessing you might have slept a little bit better. So please join me in welcoming Angela.
Hello and welcome to everybody. I want to thank you all for accepting the invitation to participate in what I know will be an interesting next couple of days. Our hope is that in these discussions, the site visit that is planned and the resources provided online, it will help you understand better the complexities behind various nuclear threats, from securing weapons-usable material around the world to countering the threat of a nuclear terror attack, to nuclear disarmament and non-proliferation, and tough cases like North Korea and Russia. Because it's through you and the work that you do that the public better understands what can often be a confusing and frightening subject. I also want to thank the Nieman Foundation for hosting and organizing this work, and I want to thank the speakers who are taking their time to join us, and particularly the Belfer Center for Science and International Affairs at Harvard for agreeing to assist in this cross-campus collaboration. As mentioned, I'm a program officer at the MacArthur Foundation in the nuclear challenges area. We are a nonpartisan grantmaker, and our nuclear work focuses on identifying political and technical solutions to address the nuclear threat, particularly by reducing the world's reliance on highly enriched uranium and plutonium. We are also focused on strengthening and protecting the nuclear regime. This work includes policy-relevant scholarship, stakeholder engagement, outreach and dissemination of policy prescriptions, as well as advanced education on the nuclear threat. So, what is the problem? Despite significant reductions in the number of nuclear weapons since the Cold War, more than 15,000 weapons remain today. Rising geopolitical tensions, the non-state actor threat, and command and control challenges raise the risk of accidental or intentional use. Just one detonation would change the contours of our global society. Multiple detonations could kill millions, devastate the environment, disrupt financial systems, and throw cities and countries into chaos. So, nuclear weapons present an existential threat. The key ingredients for these weapons, highly enriched uranium and plutonium, are in plentiful supply. There are nearly 2,000 tons of these fissile materials around the globe, which fuel existing weapons arsenals and include enough materials to build tens of thousands of new weapons. So over the next few days, you'll learn more about these nuclear challenges that I've mentioned. In closing, I just want to emphasize that we at MacArthur can be a resource to you, and as well as when you're researching, in the future. We have more than 90 grantees working on a wide range of issues in this field. We're always happy to take your call and point you to the right organization to get your questions answered. And besides me, you can also contact Sean, who is here from our communications department. In addition to that, Nieman has posted a number of important resources on the special website created for this workshop. So that's it. Thanks for joining us, and enjoy your dinner.